What's up, everybody? I just wanted to make a video on how you can trade with OTE, otherwise known as optimal trade entry. I'm going to be showing the use cases for it, bullish and bearish example, and yeah, I'm going to get right into it. So, what is OTE, optimal trade entry? OTE is basically a zone on the chart that shows where price is likely to pull back to before continuing in the direction it was already moving. So, I like to think of OTE as a map of the current price or current leg we're trading in. So for a bearish example, your levels would be more towards like the premium side, and for a bullish example, sorry, I'm right there wrong. For a bullish example, your OTE would be more towards the lower side like this. So let me explain to you the key levels. So your level sorry, not your level one, your one zone and your zero zone are the start and end points of your range. So let me show you what I mean. Where's that? So if we're trading in the current leg and I want to mark OTE from this high to this low, all right, this would be the start of the leg I'm trading in, or I mark my OTE in, and the zero would be the end. All right, so 0.79 is where the OTE begins. No, sorry, this is where the OTE ends, and this can be used as the deepest pullback. So if we're trading OTE for a bearish example, so you see right here, I marked it from this high to this low. This would be the deepest range I would allow my entry to be in. So yeah, 0.75 is the sweet spot of the range, which will most likely show the best spot to enter in a range. This is often used as the most ideal entry point or the deep discount slash premium. The 0.62 is also a deep discount slash premium. So optimal trade entry, or the 7.05 zone, is the most popular zone because this zone usually lines up with nice entry points. So you see how we bounced off that level in between the 6.2 and the 7.05, and I'll be showing some examples of 0.705 entries, right? And 0.62 is where the OTE begins. So anytime price hits my 0.62, I want to start, paying attention more and seeing how we react off the levels from 0.62, 0.705, and 0.79. So this whole range right here. So this whole range, if price enters within this whole range, you really want to start paying attention to find, entries. All right, so 0.5. 0.5 is the premium slash discount zone, or the midpoint of a range. This area can be used as a point of interest, but it's still not the main zone to prioritize. So if I'm marking my OTE in a certain range, if price is below the 0.5, so this is a bear example, we would be too much in discount. So if I wanted to look for an entry right here, it wouldn't work because we're too much in discount. But if we're above the 0.5, that means we're in premium, which is good for bearish examples. So I would want price to preferably be above my 0.5 for a bearish example. And lastly, 0.382 can be used as a level for retracements and looked at to get more aggressive entries or to catch bigger moves within a range. So sometimes we'll have reactions off the 0.82 where we could maybe, catch reversals. So look, sometimes, where's the tool at? Sometimes price may react off this level, bounce, and you could get a, quick little trade, but these other levels like the 0.79 to 0.705, 6.2 may react, and then that'll be the move. All right. So the reason why I like optimal trade entry personally, sorry, is because it can be paired with pretty much any P rate. So it can be used with rejection blocks order blocks, Ferrari gaps, IVGs, breakers, or maybe even if you don't trade ICT, it can be used for, maybe use like volume profile or something, or, VWAP, EMA levels, or whatever. So that's why I like OTE, me personally. But also, you should think of OTE as a safety net if you miss your first entry. So usually, let's say this this is the move I wanted, right? So I wanted an entry off the 6-2. Usually, we might go lower, right? We might go lower, and you can still use these same levels and find another entry at one of these levels where PDAs may line up, so you could find a different entry to catch a bigger move. All right. So that's how I would use it for entry triggers. You should think of it as a safety net. All right. And sometimes, if I guess this depends on like your trading style, but OTE can be used to get more precise. Sorry, I spelled entries wrong. It can be used to get more precise entries on a lower time frame if you want to catch smaller moves, maybe you scalp or things like that. All right. So now I'll be showing some examples of OTE and how you can use it in a bearish and a bullish example. All right. So this will be the bearish example I'm going to show you. So let's say I missed a trade in this range, right? I want to trade within this range. So how we would mark out the OT, it would be from this high to this swing low right here. All right. So we are very deep in discount right now for shorts. So I wouldn't want to look for a trade at this point. So let me move the OT over. So preferably I would want price to go back in premium, so above this 0.5 zone, and hit one of my key levels. So my 0.62, my 0.705, or my 0.79. So how I like to use OT is I like to see what's within our ranges. So near our 7-9 level, all right, we have this order block and we have this rejection block right here. So this is a very strong level right here. We have this rejection block, all right. You want, maybe if you trade IVGs, see we reacted off this IVG right here. Sometimes there might be 4-hour levels, right? This order block. Sometimes there's daily levels, but that's a rare case sometimes. Sometimes when we have really good price action, there will be daily levels, or yeah. So how would I trade this? All right. So let me play it out a little bit. Let me put it on like times like 5 maybe. So counter reacting off 0.5. All right. So we've reached 0.705 and this deep range within 0.79. All right. So preferably, I might have to market order, but usually I would set a limit at this zone, because at this key level, what do we have? A rejection block. We have, maybe if you like to add confluences, we have these, we have a rejection block right here. We have this IVG at this level, yeah, things like that. All right, so what would I do? I would set my limit at this 0.79 and then set my take profit at this sell side right here. So set sell side right here. All right, and I might have to market order it because I might have missed my entry. So it's kind of like weird. Oh, there it goes. All right, so let's see it play out. Came back into the zone, retested it, take profit. All right. So you see how we started, displacing the way we wanted to. It came back into our 0.705. Price became aggressive. Then it took the sell side out. All right. So that is your bullish example. Sorry, not bullish, bearish example. All right. So this will be the bullish example I'm showing. All right. Okay. So why would I want to mark my OT in this range, right? So we swept all of these lows, right? All of these lows from, like last week. All right. So we have a rejection block right here. So we swept these lows, got this rejection block, order block right here. What do we have? Let's see if we have anything. It's not really nothing. There's not really nothing else in the higher time frame, but we have these gaps below that we're expecting. This gap right here that we're expecting. And we have targets above. We have these unfilled hourlies. All right. So if I wanted to scale on a lower time frame, I would mark my OTE from this low to this high. Let's say I missed my entry on this rejection block right here. Let me mark it again. Say I missed my entry. All right. What do we have at this level? This 0.705, 0.62. So right here, I'll probably set it between this 0.705 and this 0.62 at the start of this rejection block wick. And we have order block at this level. And I would set my stop at these lows, maybe my take profit at these highs. If you want to aim higher, we could do this LRR right here. All right. So let's see if we get filled. All right. All right. Set my limit. And let's see if it plays. All right. So it takes a little minute, but we eventually got our TP at so 210. It took a minute, but nice little bottom tick. And yeah, that's your bullish example. All right, so this is actually a trade I took on one of my accounts last month, and I'll put a screenshot. I'll put a screenshot on the screen because this is why I'm taking a trade from last month, is because this will show like how to, you know, use OT on a lower time frame. So I didn't like how we were initially reacting off this level, but we have actually, first let's evaluate what we have. So we have this LRL equal lows, right? Sell side right here that I want to take out. Or maybe you could use this low right here as your sell side, for example. All right. And what do we have on the lower time frame? Just the low time frame. So you have this wick right here. So order block at this level. And at these levels, the point I liked most was, I'm pretty sure it was 705 and 79. So I wanted shorts, right? So I set my limit at this order block open. I think I set my stop at like at this wick high. Set my TP at this low, like 2 or 3. It might have been like 2 or 3 micros, but it's on 25. So set my limit. Let's see. It's very, very. It looks like choppy price action, but let's say you want to, you want to catch a trade on a lower time frame. That's how you'll do it. And I'll put the screenshot on the screen with the Trade Bay logo and all that. So yeah, it's my video. I appreciate you for watching. Subscribe for more, and be persistent. Keep God in your life, and goodbye, everybody.